Hey y'all, happy Friday. I'm back. So I had some technical difficulties this morning with my printer and all of that stuff. And so I just felt like I wanted to come back on live again this afternoon and just kind of just go back over what I talked about earlier today. Just say it again, just in case you missed this morning's live broadcast. I wanted to come back at you again this afternoon. I want to give you 6 things that you can do right now to set yourself up for success. I came across this article today. It was on a website. It was called Make It. I'd never heard of them before, but it had these great tips for what you can do today, meaning Friday, to set yourself up for success for next week and going forward. So number one, you check off the A's on your to-do list. So this is a tip that came from Barbara Corcoran. She's of Shark Tank. She also is the founder of the Corcoran Group, and she has the podcast of Business Unusual. And she says the best way to make sure you're all squared up before the weekend is to identify your priorities. So when you write out your to-do list, mark everything as A, B, or C. So I would say like maybe have 3 columns, and under column A, you put your most important priorities, B, next important, and C, that can get done, but they're not urgent. So you put, I guess again, she was saying in order of your importance, so you can clearly see what your top priority is or your top priorities are. And she says, hers, like one of hers is, what will make me money? She goes on to say that every day I start by tackling the A's, like close a deal with so-and-so, even though I might be more interested in the mood for a C task, like planting flowers in her garden. She said, close out as many A's as possible before you head into the weekend, and you'll be in top shape to keep moving ahead. That's a great idea. So like all of those things that you might have been putting off all week long, and you're thinking, well, there's got to be something better that I can do, a better system, something that, would make things work a lot easier, sorry, I'm just trying to get my lighting here a little bit better. Get your system working better. So yeah, I love this checklist where it's, your to-do list is, it's like in 3 different parts. I used to do that at work, so I get that. You have your urgent, your next to urgent, and then your can do later. Number 2, draft important emails to send on Monday. So this came from Yuri Elkaim, and he's the founder and the CEO of Healthpreneur. He's also a former professional athlete and a New York Times bestselling author. And he wrote, think of the weekend as a mini vacation. If you were going on vacation, what would you finish first to make it as enjoyable as possible? He says, I'm all about thinking once, so I'm not creating every single day. Instead of writing and sending emails piecemeal, I would rather write them all on Friday for the following week. The last thing I want to do on a Sunday night is worry about the email I need to send on Monday. And he says, this technique takes things off my plate that I would rather not spend a lot of time on. Instead, I can focus on the things I really enjoy doing, and that will move my business forward. It frees up more mental energy to focus on the big rocks of my business. So that makes a lot of sense. I try and plan out my posts ahead of time and have them scheduled to post, but I never actually thought about my emails. Like, how do I, get my emails in such a way where they're ready to go, and all I have to do on Monday is just hit send and they're off. So I think I'm going to try that. Next one, number 3, write next week's to-do list. So I think this goes hand in hand, kind of like with what Barbara Corcoran was saying. But this guy, his name is Guy Sheetrit. He's the CEO of Over the Top SEO, which provides customized SEO marketing solutions for e-commerce, local, and Fortune 500 companies. And he says the number 1 task for me is having a solid action plan for the following week. I prioritize my schedule from most to least important. Then starting Monday morning, I focus on getting things done in that order. Basically, he's just saying, it takes about 3 weeks, he said, to settle into the process, and he gets more important things done each week because he has this plan, this process in place. And I get that because, we have so much stuff going on in our lives. So if we could at least plan it out a little bit better on our to-do lists, it might make things a lot easier. So, and of course, time management, very important. Number 4, prepare next week's calendar. So I love my planner. I actually plan out not just for the coming weeks, but coming week, I should say, but I also plan out, like if I have events I'm going to, if I have client appointments, if I have personal appointments, if I have networking events, if I have other types of things going on, my life things, my me time. I love to use, my planner for that. And it's great because what you have in front of you is your template of how to navigate your life for the week. So you have it all set out, and then come Monday morning, you can open your planner and you can say, okay, Monday I've got this plan, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way through the next weekend. And it's better than waking up on Monday morning saying, okay, what do I got to do this week? Because that is really, it's counterproductive. It takes way too much time and it throws you off. So number 5 was complete all your big goals. And this was by a gentleman by the name of Andre Pira. And he says he's a huge believer in the power of setting goals. He sets daily, weekly, monthly, and sometimes yearly goals. I'm all about goals. Goals are great because they keeps you motivated, keeps you wanting to do better, to get things done, to better yourself, to be the best version of you. And, the self-discipline we apply to our goals allows us to attract wealth and unlimited opportunities. So I love that. And I really think that with me, I always have goals. I have my weekly goals. I have my monthly goals. I have my quarterly goals. I have my annual goals, and then I work backwards and think, okay, I want to achieve these things. So what do I have to do? And that's where the planner comes into play, because then you can start planning out the things that you need to do and chunking your time. So, and that's fantastic. I love doing that. Number 6, you complete your top 5. So you start every morning, what I like to do is I have my me time. That is just non-negotiable. I have a morning routine. I get up and I exercise. I have my meditation time. I have what I call my I am statement, which I listen to. And I also have my affirmations. And then I journal in my gratitude journal. It's really super important. This is non-negotiable. It's for me, what I give to myself for me. And then the rest of the day is whatever my to-do list, my top 5 priorities. So I think I could take all of the pieces of all of these tips and use them all, going forward, just adding a little bit to what I already do. So all of these tips are amazing. What resonates with you? What do you think you can do to start making your life better going forward? To be more organized and in control of your schedule, your tasks, your to-do lists. Are you a lists person, and do you like the concept of breaking down your list into columns A, B, and C, and tackling the most important ones first and then revisiting the list later and tweaking it? And maybe you need to move something over into A, or maybe moving something over into B or C. What do you think about the idea of drafting your emails the previous Friday for the next Monday? So all you have to do when you go into the office is press send. Or if you work from home, all you have to do on Monday morning when you get to your workspace is just press send. That's pretty cool. Or maybe you like to plan out your next week's to-do list. Again, with the whole concept of your A, B, and C list. I love that. It's getting together a foundation, a great foundation for navigating your week. But you always should revisit your to-do list, because sometimes something may not be as important as something else. So you need to move it up, move something down, that type of thing. And maybe you like to use a planner, your calendar for the next week, filling in your appointments, setting your time aside for your me time, which as I said, is very and super important to me. It's non-negotiable. It's always good to see what you have planned too, because then you can really structure your time. You can say, okay, yeah, there's something happening, but yeah, it just does not fit within my time frame right now, and that's okay. We can't do everything all at one time. I know we like to think of ourselves as multitaskers, but that just really it drains you to be a multitasker. It can take away, your ability to do something even well because you're trying to do too many things at once. Do one thing at a time and do it well is how I always say. But again, going with the planner is so good to see what's on it for your week. If you have to move something out, if you have to say yes to something and move something out of that category and move it into a maybe later, that's what why a planner is so amazing. Make sure you complete all your big goals. So if you have big goals for your quarter, your biannual and your annual, what do you have to do each month to get there? What do you have to do each week to get to your monthly goal? What do you have to do each day to get to your weekly goal? That's something you have to think about as well. And then you can complete your top 5. So like I said, I'm going to use some of them. I'm going to look at all of these again and see how that fits into my planning, my scheduling, my life, and see if I can tweak some of my stuff so that I can do it better. I already know that I like Barbara Corcoran's idea, of A, B, and C, having the columns and putting my to-do list that way because I was putting everything together. And of course, then things would get missed that were really important. So yeah. Anyways, I hope that these were helpful. I know that habits don't just form overnight. It takes time and it takes real dedication. But if you truly believe in yourself, you can do it. And thanks for watching. I encourage you to share this video just to pay it forward with these amazing tips. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. I know I didn't introduce myself before I started, but my name is Leslie Gaudette. I am an empowerment coach. I help men and women declutter their headspace so that they can break the cycle of mental clutter, get control of their lives, and start living their best lives right now. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a great Friday night. If you're going out for dinner, going out to a movie, going out with friends, whatever you're doing, just enjoy yourself. And I will get back to you later. Talk to you soon. Bye.